Well, hello and how are you? Hey, this here's Shenandoah Briscoe coming to you live right here in St. Charles, Missouri. Yes, sir, this is blog 137. That's right, 137. I'd like to say first off, Happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there because, well, today's Father's Day. But I'm also going to tell you about a little trip I took yesterday down to the river. Yes, sir, we had a beautiful sunshiny day. So I went on down to the not Laclede's Landing, Blanchette's Landing. Yes, sir. Went down to Blanchette's Landing and I stayed there for quite a while. I ended up talking to keep wanting to say Eugene. I know his name's not Eugene, but middle name's Thomas, and his significant other, her name was Nicole. Yeah, sat and talked to them. They was fishing. They had 4 lines out in the water, and there were some folks across the other side of the park there that had a couple of lines out. There was a guy that had 2 lines out, and another guy had 3 lines out. Anyway, then there was a guy pulled up in an old pickup truck, brand new shiny white pickup truck. Gets out, he's wearing a black tuxedo. Walks over and he's talking to the other fellers over there, and I was sitting there thinking, boy, is this guy going to go fishing or what? No, sir, he decided not to go fishing. Nobody was catching anything, so I guess there was no point in him getting his tux all messed up trying to fish. That would have been a sight to see, you know. Speaking of Father's Day, by the way, if you get yourself down to South Carolina, you might want to stop into the Hampton Inn Northeast. Because I tell you what, those folks down there, they'll take care of you. They're a very hospitable hotel. And not only that, there's a place across the road from them called the Lizard's Thicket. Yes, sir, the Lizard's Thicket. It's a hometown style eating restaurant there. They got all kinds of good old hometown food. Now, the reason they called it the Lizard's Thicket, they were going to call it Annie's Place, but they couldn't call it Annie's Place because, well, the name had already been taken. So what happened was they came from down south there somewhere, and the closest area to them was where all the parade grounds were, and that's where all the circuses would come, and all the tent preachers and all that would come. And wow, that crossroads area there was called the Lizard's Thicket, and so therefore they named their restaurant the Lizard's Thicket. It's a crossroads, and so that's why they all showed up down there. But anyway, yeah, like I was talking about, I was sitting there next to that couple, and we were talking back and forth a little bit, and of course, they were fishing, and they were using worms, you know, and I done told them that story about the ice fishing, you know, the 2 fellers sitting back to back. I've told you all the story before, but, you know, it never hurts to tell it again. And them 2 fellers are sitting back to back, and one's catching all kinds of fish, and the other one's not catching any fish. And so the one that's not catching any fish, he turns back to the first one, and he says, hold on just a second, let me get just a little bit of some water to get my throat cleared up. So anyway, I was telling them the joke, you know, the 2 ice fishermen back to back, and the one feller finally turns around to the other one and he says, hey, why are you catching so many fish and I ain't catching none? Well, the other one says, He says, what? He says, He says, what are you trying to say? He says, you got to keep your bait warm. Get it? Alright. Anyway, yeah, they were using night crawlers and they weren't catching anything. And I said, I said, you know what? I bet those are Canadian night crawlers. And they looked at the box, and sure enough, Canadian night crawlers. Well, see, the problem here is they was fishing in the Missouri River. And, well, yeah, this area was started up by the French, but we don't speak a lot of French here in Missouri anymore, or in St. Charles anymore. So these Canadian night crawlers, them catfish, been growed up on English, and so they don't know how to speak French. So them night crawlers can't entice them fish on over because, well, they're speaking French. But then again, if there's female speaking French night crawlers, that might entice some male fish on over. You never can tell. That's the way it works. I'm going to have to get to church today because, well, on Father's Day, you definitely have to go and praise the Father. That's right. I'm going to go and praise the Father this morning, and I'm going to have a gap in the rain just long enough to get myself there. That's right. The rain is coming down pretty steady, and it's going to lighten up at about 10:15. So that way I can get in the van, get all the way over to church, get inside the church, and around 11 o'clock it's going to start raining again. So I figured I better be catching that window, if you know what I mean. Because, well, you don't want to be caught in the rain, because, well, if you're as sweet as I am, you'll melt. Right? Right. That's what they say. And you know why I can say that? Well, I'll tell you why. Because you know I'm good looking. That's right. That's the first time I've used that phrase on y'all folks, but I used to use it all the time. And do you know why? Because you know I'm good looking. That's why I could use it. Anyway, hey, oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. There was another three guys. There was a boat out there on the river. I was going to say there wasn't a whole lot of debris on the river, but there was this kayak coming down the river. And I think when they did pull in, they pulled in there at the landing there, and it was a two-person kayak, and the man got out of the front, and the woman got out, and their boat was called One Fish, Two Fish. That's right, One Fish, Two Fish. So anyway, when they got out of that their boat, they crawled up on the landing there, and anyway, they had started out from Washington, Missouri, I think is where they said. And so that was a good haul, and took them about 4 hours and 19 minutes. I think they made that trip. So that's pretty long distance for that. They said they'd gotten up to speeds like 12 miles an hour at some point in time. So that's pretty good for a kayak without a whole lot of work. You know what I'm saying. But then again, there are spots in the river that slow you way down. And then there was these three old boys come out there, and they was going to take out in their fishing boat. So they unload this big old 14-foot John boat, and they're backing her out there. And my first thought was, fellers, get on your life jackets. But you know how it is. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, so no life jackets for them. They just ended up heading on out there by themselves with no life jackets when they took off. So I wasn't real happy with it, but hey, you know what I'm saying. To each your own, and so therefore they went on without them. Oh, let's see. It's getting close to 10:10. Now I've got about another. I got about another 12 minutes left, I guess. I can do it. I've got that length of time. I might have to cut you short today because, well, the fact that it's, I've got to get to church in my right window, and it's 9 minutes and 40 seconds into this broadcast. Well, broadcast, blog, same difference. You know what I'm saying. Got myself a phone call coming in. I think I'll take that. Hello? I. Hello? Hello? Pri- Private Thomas. No?